Hey, what's going on? It's James Canzanelli, your affiliate hero, and in today's video, I have a great one for you. Going to explain the 5 powerful habits that absolutely changed so many aspects of not just only my life, but my online business as well. You're really going to like this one because I know if you at least get one tip out of this, it can really help you as well. But before we begin, I want to say hello. My name is James Canzanelli. Thank you for watching. I'm a full-time affiliate marketer. But if you like videos that are going to be related to this, mindset, online business, affiliate marketing, internet marketing, feel free to subscribe as I'll be putting out many more videos in the future. For all my returning viewers, it's great to have you. And let's begin. So the first one is, maybe you can guess this. We have the GUE here, but what I'm going to do is kind of fill in the blanks and talk about these a little. So the first one is an interesting one, I guess you could say, but hear me out on this. Getting up earlier, okay? I'll never remember the first time when I kind of got into this, online marketing thing many years ago, and I was going back and forth with someone who, was interested in fitness, or this person actually had a program that I could promote, and they were pretty much giving me tips when it comes to being successful. And they pretty much said there was like this quote similar to like, if you want to be successful, you have to do what successful people do, and successful people have no problem waking up earlier, okay? Now, that guy could have probably told me anything and I would have believed it just because I was so interested in getting started and being successful, but it's something that really stuck with me. And over time, I realized that this was a very big divider between people who were going to be successful and pretty much never going to be successful. So the thing that I've noticed is that you have to be willing to do things you don't want to do. And for a lot of people, one of the hardest decisions to make is not only getting out of bed, but what time should they get out of bed? And let me tell you, it should not be that way. That should not be one of the hardest decisions to make. The idea of waking up earlier is that, yes, if you're not used to doing it, it can be painful. It can be annoying. You might lose some sleep. You might have to change around your habits. But the fact of the matter is you need to do it anyway. If that's one of the hardest decisions that you have to make on a daily basis, how else are you going to be dealing with life? How else are you going to be dealing with the problems and the challenges and the situations that an online business can bring, or any other, challenges that come up in life? The fact of the matter is that you want to become bigger than these problems that you have. You don't want your problems to become bigger than you. And one thing that comes along with this, really interesting thing here, oops, let's move this back up, is making the damn bed, okay? I don't know about you, but usually for many years in my life, all I had was pretty much like 1 or maybe 2 comforters max. I never liked sheets. I don't know why. They were just too thin and annoying, but I love the feel of comforters, so it was very easy for me. And it was just a great way to get my day started, and it's less clutter. Something else that I've also noticed is that a lot of people who are successful, they're very neat and organized. They keep a lot of meticulous books or stats or data, because if you want to really succeed online when it comes to an online business, for those of you that watch for that type of content, that's going to be very helpful, okay? If you're trying to run your books when it comes to expenses and sales and all this other stuff, and you're not keeping track of that, or you keep really bad details, you're going to lose out on a ton of money because you're not going to have your expenses right, or maybe you're not going to calculate all your sales, and you might get audited because your numbers are off, okay? So it's these really small decisions that can really add up, even something as simple as making the bed, okay? So we talked about it's one of the hardest decisions that people can make. You don't want it to be that way. Start waking up earlier, and I'm telling you, things can be a lot better. Plus, if you think about it, how many people are awake early morning, okay? Even online, even, where it's going to be going to the gym. For example, I get up early and I go to the gym. There's like no one on the road, okay? It's so much easier to get in and out. I can hide from the sun so my vampire skin doesn't burn and so on and so forth. There's just a lot of great benefits when it comes to it. So if that sounds foreign, if that sounds like something you don't need to do, go ahead and try it out and see how much it works for you. And since we are on the topic of going to the gym, you can probably guess this one. You could just see my cool transformation, lifting weights, and I guess you could put nutrition when it comes along to this, okay? So this was back in school era. This is probably 2006, 2007. I was around 235 pounds, maybe 240. I don't remember exactly, but on the right, I got down to around 190. As you can see, it was quite the transformation. And let me tell you what comes along with lifting weights and what comes along with, nutrition. If you want to get a six-pack, that's cool. Is confidence. And I don't think I need to sell you too much on the fact of just how powerful confidence can be in the long run, okay? Think about someone who's looking to start an online business. I see this all the time where they're like, oh, I want to get started, but it's going to be too hard. Boo-hoo. Oh, I want to do this, but I don't have a lot of money. And it's just they have no confidence whatsoever. Compare that to someone who maybe doesn't have that much time, maybe doesn't have that much money. Just the fact that they have a good head on their shoulder and they're confident in what they want to do, they'll say something like, well, you know what? I don't have a ton of money right now, but I'll find a way to make more so that I can make my online business work. You know what? I don't have a lot of time at the current time, but what I can do is actually go to bed earlier. I can stop watching movies. I can wake up earlier. I can get to the gym earlier, and that will open up 2 hours of time where I can actually work on my online business after getting home from my job. It's a completely different scenario. Plus, the type of attention you'll get, dudes, from all the ladies out there, I can tell you, when I was like this, not like I'm very far from that off right now, but I don't think I'd ever got more attention, more whistles, more, just conversation starters, girls staring at me, like my friends would be hanging out with me and be like, those girls will not stop staring at you. Just crazy stuff like that, which is kind of funny when you think about it, because you usually don't get a six-pack because you want like all this attention from the opposite sex. I guess some people do, but that was not the scenario I wanted to be in. But it's a cool thing to have, obviously. So confidence is probably one of the most important factors when it comes to succeeding with anything online. Plus, if you want to attract the opposite sex, confidence is probably one of the sexiest things to have. You'll notice nowadays that you can see someone who maybe isn't that attractive. They don't have a lot going on for them, but if they're confident in what they're doing, that can be a very attractive quality in someone. So let's move on to the next one. Let's move this down a little. That's confidence. So that comes from lifting weights, obviously nutrition. Yes, you'll have to do some research, some looking into it, but the fact of the matter is that really changed my life because of that transformation. It allowed me to be a personal trainer. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know the road I went down that, where I was a personal trainer, sent to unemployment. That didn't work, and that's where I turned to the internet, and it's all history, so to speak. So next one. This is probably going to be the most basic one in the world, but there's some good side input when it comes to it. Reading. Okay, so when it comes to reading, it's interesting because in elementary school, middle school, high school, I always hated reading with a passion, with a burning passion. It was so boring. I didn't want to sit there and read something I had no interest in. And I don't know, maybe you were the same way. Maybe you loved reading. It was just something I couldn't get myself to like sit down and do because I enjoyed it, because I didn't. For example, when I was in elementary school, summer reading was me pretty much reading the same book over and over every year. And I wasn't even reading the book. It was Jaws. I had watched the movie. I know what happens. Okay. So it was like whatever I could do to get out of it because I just hated reading so much. However, that obviously changed. I did start to read, but the biggest motivator behind this is what changed, that there was interest. Okay. What changed? Let me reword this, was that there was now interest, okay? When I got really fat, I was now interested in losing weight. I was interested in looking great. I was interested in feeling more confident, okay? Having more confidence and so on and so forth. So what happens? Now there's an interest when it comes to like, I really want to lose body fat. I want to learn how to lift weights better. I want to be more muscular. I want to be stronger. So what happens is when you have that interest, it's much easier to go out, look for information, and take it all in. The same thing happens when it comes to building muscle, to losing weight, to attracting the opposite sex, to building an online business. A lot of things will change when there's an actual interest on it, which is why I think a lot of school systems suck, for the fact of the matter that they're just feeding you these random books. You have no interest in them, and there's no wonder why you probably don't want to read them or didn't want to read them back in the past, okay? So because of that, now that I had a ton of interest in, I love reading, but it has to be specific books. Like, you can't just hand me some random 50 Shades of Grey book or some random Harry Potter book. I don't have interest in that, except for the 50 Shades one. Maybe there's some good scenes in that. You know what I mean? I'll read up about that later. But it has to be something related to, say, online business, especially if it's a problem I'm looking to solve. For example, if I want to increase my conversions, like, there's books about that. If I want to do better SEO, there's books about that. If I want to make customers happier as an affiliate, there's ways to do that. There's books about that. There's confidence books. There's business books. There's mastermind books. Whatever it's going to be, I now had so much more interest in that. And because of that, I was a reading machine. I got whatever I could get my hands on that I loved. I read. Not only did I keep it deep in my mind, but I took action upon it, which was an extremely important process, okay? When it comes to reading, I recommend 80% action, 20% reading. So if you're doing a ton of reading and no action, you got to flip-flop that around, okay? And in case you're wondering, I have read quite a few books. These are two of my favorite. So it's going to be Relentless, From Good to Great to Unstoppable. That's more of a mindset book. And then we have Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, okay? This is more of a mindset book, but this is more about money, obviously, or maybe not so obviously. This one was from Tim Grover, who was the trainer for Kobe Bryant. May he rest in peace, along with Michael Jordan and some of the greatest athletes ever. So literally you can pretty much extract their mindset and use it in your everyday life, especially for business or anything else that you want to grow and succeed in. Those are two of my top books. I don't know which one I would rank first because they're both so amazing. I've probably gone back to read those more times than I can even think of. And then I recommend those if you're looking for books to get started with, okay? Next is an interesting one. You'll probably never ever guess what GF means. No, it doesn't represent girlfriend. Okay, I'm going to give you 1 second. Do you know what it is? Ghosting fools, okay? Like I said, there's no way you probably thought of that because I pretty much just made it up. Aside from the fact of ghosting, you might know what that is. Nowadays, it's pretty much like where if you're talking to someone and then out of nowhere, they just like stop talking. They disappear, kind of like a ghost, okay? But this is when it comes to fools, okay? Fools can mean a lot of different things. I was going to put like idiots or dumbasses, but I let it slide a little. I chose fools, but in the future, I'll hammer home a little harder in terms of, calling out people that you don't want to hang out with. So let me write these phrases down for you. That will never work. How about another one? Go get a job. Okay, how about one more? Just for good luck, so to speak. You are going to fail. There's a great one. Can you imagine that? You go to do something, someone's just like, you're going to fail. Don't even bother, right? That's why I call them fools. They're idiots. They're morons. They're even dumber than that, okay? These are the type of naysayers, or you could even call them haters. I call them fools. Most likely I call them idiots, so let's do that one. Ghosting idiots, okay? Like, what is the point of people saying stuff like that? Like, they're not getting anything done in life, and they got to tell you what you can't do based upon their shitty life experiences of doing nothing and failing all their life. The idea behind ghosting idiots is that I don't spend time around people like this. Sometimes, unfortunately, in life, there are people that are kind of close where you can't just be like, bye, have a nice day. Spend less time around them, okay? Especially when it comes to like when people want to meet you and anyone's always in this negative mindset of like, oh, that'll never work, or that's dumb, or they just want to like shit on everything you do. I don't hang around with people like that, okay? Life is too short to hang around losers and idiots who want to like downplay everything you do, tell you you're going to fail. I cannot begin to tell you how many times when I was building my online business, people were saying like, oh yeah, good luck with that. Like that'll ever work and all this other crap. If only they realized where I am now compared to where they are now, ironically enough, doing a lot better than them. Aside from that, this always comes along, or not always, tends to come along with the fact that these individuals always wanting to go out. It's as if we're still in school, like we're going to bars and drinking, always wanting to party. They're always wanting results, but unfortunately, always doing nothing, okay? These are the type of individuals that I wanted no part of. I cannot tell you how many people from like college or older friends who are still in this mindset of like they just want to go out, they want to party. This should be party, not part. They want to party, they want to chase girls, and it's like, dude, you're in your mid-30s and you're still going through that phase. Like, they're still drinking. Their physiques look like shit. They have jobs that they hate. These are not the type of individuals you're probably going to want to hang around if you're planning on having any aspirations of doing anything big, success, business-wise, whatever it's going to be. They're only going to hold you down. They're only going to hold you back. And I pretty much started realizing to myself at an earlier age, and I'm very glad for this, that I chose very carefully who I started hanging around. I didn't care how rude it was. I didn't care how mean it was. If someone didn't fit into pretty much the type of habits that I want to hang around, or if they were a naysayer or a hater, that's obviously easy. Or if they never had anything encouraging to say, I'm simply not hanging around them. And for some odd reason I do, I'm not even giving them the time of day. I'm probably not going to communicate with them. If they can't tell my body language says like F off, well, they're an idiot in the first place, okay? You know what I mean? So that was a very big habit when it comes to me. This isn't the easiest one for everyone because I know a lot of times people will say like, well, I have this one person in my life who's really close to me, but they're also like the biggest hater and naysayer. And I don't know what to say to that because personally, I would never put myself in that type of scenario. The people who you surround you with should be like your biggest environment and your biggest help. Okay, when you surround yourself with a bunch of people who are telling you this is never going to work, eventually you start to believe it, okay? As the saying says, hang around with 4 idiots and eventually you'll become the 5th, okay? It's very true, so you got to choose wisely who you hang around. And the cool thing about it is that online, technically you can quote unquote hang out by listening to people's videos like this one. You can listen to podcasts, okay? Maybe you can join a mastermind or maybe you can get coached. Like this is a great way to kind of separate yourself from other people and actually put yourself in groups where you feel you belong, where you're actually going to get positive, energy from or motivation or guidance when it comes to achieving your goals, okay? So that was ghosting idiots. Interesting way of putting it, but some people just need to, they're going to keep doing their own thing. And a lot of times they're really just going to drag you down in the process and you're just going to keep increasing when it comes to reaching your goals and so on and so forth. But a lot of people are just going to be left behind the way. That's just the way it works. Okay. So let's move to the last one. Now, this is a phrase I actually coined, which I'm very proud of. So you probably won't know this one. This is the last one, and I've been doing this ever since I started my online business, and I still do it because that's how powerful it is. It's a great habit, and this is saving the best for last. So we got to, do, to, mo. I might have mentioned this in another video. I don't know if I have, but here's the process. So every day, it's hard typing when I got this big mic in front of me, okay? Got me some slack. Every day I'm done working. Every day before I'm done working, I write down what I need to do tomorrow. Yeah, that is down. Okay, cool. And we got that one too, sure. Okay, so pretty much you can do this anywhere. You can do it in Evernote. You can do it in Google Docs, Google Drive. You can do it in Zoho, any type of documents. Heck, you can write it down on a yellow legal pad. You can write it down in your refrigerator if you have one of those dry erase markers. The fact of the matter is that when you know what you need to do, this saves you a ton of time. I noticed this because after, time going by, I realized this really quickly because like I said, I did this right when I started. It was so much more helpful when I had kind of I guess you could say, quote unquote, assignments handed to you. Think about this when you were in school. There were actually some big benefits of it is that a lot of times they would give you homework. They would give you exactly what you need to do and when it needs to get done. And because of that, I never was late with any of my projects, my assignments, my homework. I always got everything done because I knew what I needed to do and when I needed to do it by. So I started adapting that same scenario when it comes to my online business. And you can do this with anything, not just your online business, but any big type of goal that you have, whatever it's going to be. And I'll give you some examples when it comes to this. So we have 3 categories when it comes to this. We have P, progress, maintenance, and growth, okay? This is notified. This is known as PMG. I actually got this from someone named Kenster. His name is Ken Spano. He does a lot of affiliate work when it comes to, I think it's Warrior JV, but I remember this specific PMG from him. So what you do is you write down everything that you need to do. So we talked about lifting weights and we talked about nutrition. So I'm just going to use an example when it comes to that because I know usually everyone wants to either build a little bit more muscle, lose a little bit more fat, either way. So let's look at the task, let's say we would need to do tomorrow in order to, make that happen. So we would need to make our meals. We would need to go to the gym. We would need to, take a shower. Make a diet. Let's do prepare food. And then, we have like X, Y, and Z, something else, okay? The fact of the matter is that you want to go through and make sure all these things are labeled for each. So when it comes to progress, now I just realized I put progress here. This is actually not progress. This is personal. This is personal. It's funny how that way it came. Okay, so personal, maintenance, and growth. Okay, so the idea here is that, sorry, Kenster, we already gave you some credit. So at least 80% of your activities are growth, and then the rest can be like 10 and 10 or mixed up. Okay, and 10. Okay, so let's say, for example, like you had to, take the dog for a walk. You had to, go to the doctor. I'm just making up things now, but you want to make sure that you focus on the biggest things that are going to help you improve your goals. Same thing with an online business. In fact, it's a lot easier. So make your meals. Okay, that's going to be important. So without your meals, you're not going to be able to eat, and eating is very important when it comes to building muscle and losing fat. So that's going to be growth, G. Okay, go to the gym, lift, work out, do what you need to do. That's obviously a very big deal, G. Okay, so personal, take a shower. That's pretty much like P. Prepare food, preparing. Oh, we already had that. P, go to the doctor. Personal, okay? There's not a whole lot going on here when it comes to maintenance. So let's just say look up, info on bodybuilding.com. Okay, that could be like maintenance. Despite the fact you might be learning more, it's not going to have the biggest mover when it comes to losing weight and building muscle. So these are going to be your biggest things you care. So when it comes to either your eating, you're lifting or exercising, those are the biggest things you need to focus on, okay? A lot of times what will happen is people will be like, oh, I want to lose all this weight. So they'll be like, buy products, look up more information, go to the library, sing a song for your cat, some random stuff like that. And like maybe they'll have like go to the gym, they'll forget about making their meals, they'll do this, they'll go on like the treadmill for 5 minutes and call it a day. But as you see, when you do stuff like this, go to the library, sure, personal. Sing a song for your cat. It's so random, but just go with it. Stuff like this is pretty much not going to be good because if you look at this, you got one thing right here is growth, and everything else is like maintenance and personal, okay? I can do this with pretty much any online business where if you tell me the actual activities you're going to be doing, I can predict whether you're going to have a good year or not because I'm looking for what's going to have the biggest growth for your online business. It's the same thing with building muscle. It's the same thing with losing weight. It's the same thing with any big time goal that you would like to achieve. And that's why To-Do Tomo is such a powerful thing because as I talked about before, not only are you knowing what you need to do, you're going to have it ready for you so you don't have to waste any time. Plus, you're going to be focusing on not only, but mostly the biggest movers when it comes to growth. Okay, so hope I explained that well. I can always do a separate video about that, but that's the To-Do Tomo I've been doing since around late 2012, 2013. Works wonders. I highly recommend it for your online business, for your goals, whatever it may be. And that is that. I hope you got something out of this. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. If you really liked it, you can also hit the thumbs up. You can leave a comment. Feel free to ask any questions. This video went a little bit longer than I thought, but that's cool. If you are still here to the end, virtual high five to you. And that's about it. I am James Canzanella. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon.